What's your business, by the way, and tell us what you do over there.
We represent Blanco sinks. We sell sinks throughout New York State. We inventory them in Utica, and we wholesale them.
I just got a Blanco sink.
Well, then thank you for the.
That's a really it's a
high quality. It's
high quality, durable.
Yes, we make granite sinks, stainless steel sinks, faucets.
So with Blanco, you got to be very careful though with what you clean with. You don't want to use these heavy bleach products to clean.
No, but you can use Barkeeper's Friend and a green screen.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
And if you have a problem, just call me. I'm always around. But we don't have any problems.
I had no idea that this was done right here. You guys service them or you make them?
What? No. We represent the company.
Got it. Okay.
They're made in Toronto. They're made in Germany, and they ship them into our warehouse on Broad Street. We redistribute them to customers in Buffalo, Erie.
Got it. It was Kevin Faze that they recommended.
Kevin Faze is a very good customer of ours.
They recommended this sink because it's doesn't stain the way it's in scratch like stainless steel scratches.
Yeah, it's an excellent product. We've been dealing with them for 30 years now.
Really cool.
And it works.
So there's our connection. Now, the next part is this bereavement thing is something that has passed. The governor's not signed it yet, but it would be really difficult. 2/3 pay for not 12 days. And I believe it's 12 weeks of 2/3 pay. Businesses is it all size businesses in New York?
It doesn't matter how big the business is. It could be a diner with 4 people.
So listen to this. In let's see, New Jersey, they have what is it? Is it 6 days or something like that? Oregon has 5 days of bereavement. Illinois has 10 days. New York is 12. No, not 12 days. 12 weeks.
Right. And Senator Griffo signed it and voted for it. Mr. Brindisi voted for it. And my position here is to enlighten everybody in Oneida County and the rest of the state.
Yeah.
And they should contact these people and ask them what they were thinking about.
Yeah.
What else do they do down in Albany?
This thing
Not
passed. I've got to get their take on it. So let's get to Griffo and Brindisi tomorrow if we can.
Yeah,
this thing passed 61-1 in the Senate.
Yeah, there only one. A senator in Buffalo voted against it. Other than that, it's that's the way they do things.
The editor, this Bob Confer in the paper out in Western New York said, imagine a small newspaper, and somebody takes a quarter of a year off. You got to pay them 2/3. You wouldn't be able to afford to bring in somebody to replace them. You'd have to do without them.
Well, they're going to say the pay comes from the financial side of it goes through an insurance policy. The stay-at-home program,
but you'd have to
paid family leave programs. This is an addition to the paid family leave.
The
biggest problem is the time off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
right.
They're using an insurance policy to go to pay, but if you have a diner,
it's one more insurance bill you have to pay.
No, exactly. It's another fee. Everybody says,
that.
"Well, it's not that much money." Well, in this day and age, after a few years, it's not $5, it's hundreds of dollars.
And I do have to say, listen, I remember having a job, and I lost a family member, and it was devastating, and I wanted to take the week off, and I wasn't given a week. I was given 2 days and was told that I had to come back to work after that. That was pretty traumatic, but I do wonder if when, God forbid it's a child, too, because that could put people in a position where they can't work. However, sometimes it's better to get your life back and going than sitting around.
They should word it a little differently depending who the person that passed away.
You're right.
When you're talking about the wording, because I did read through some of this, is it your understanding that it doesn't have to be an immediate family? Like you talked about losing a child, maybe losing a parent unexpectedly. That is devastating, right? So I can understand the need to take, but like if let's say my distant cousin, who I don't really know, dies, can I take a week off for that?
No, 12 weeks.
I'm saying, but I'm saying I wouldn't need 12 weeks. But let's say I wanted a week off, and I said, "Sorry, my cousin in Buffalo died."
So is that selective, or is it they get the 12?
There's
weeks?
no.
Well, and part of the problem is going to be that that people who are not married. So say you got that's going to be an issue.
There's all kinds of things that I don't know if they've been addressed in the final product that's been legislated and passed, but. The thing I'm most concerned about is why did they even think of this thing up? I mean, why would you spend time discussing it At 12, I mean, that's
in fairness,
12
like,
weeks.
You know, Bill gave an example, and I won't get too specific because you didn't, but he had a close member of his family die unexpectedly, and frankly, his boss was like, "Sorry, you know, we expect you here."
I said I couldn't come in on the third day,
Which was
it was my brother. It was at 18.
Well,
it was terrible.
What they should do is maybe give different time for different
But
relationships.
in fairness, for this company, it was a small company, and they couldn't do without me at that time. So I came back, and maybe that was for me. Maybe it was better. It was horrible. But you know, people who lose someone, lose a child, lose a spouse, or something. They cannot go forward, and maybe there's a way to psychologically assess a person to allow such a thing. Donna pipes in here. I'm reading stuff from my wife. Don't do anything. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Donna says maybe 2 weeks and full pay might be something that would be more logical.
There's all different things that could have been done. The thing is,
and then you could go to a doctor, and you could. It's possible you could go to a doctor, and they could say you can't work because of a situation.
The thing that annoys me the most, being a small business operation, you know, 12 weeks. I mean, why isn't it like 4 or 5 days? Why do they go from 3 or 4 days
to 12 weeks?
12 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes little or no sense.
Yeah.
My point also is, what do they do down in Albany?
Okay.
I mean, you know,
do they read these things they're voting for?
I mean, how could you stand up and say, and then all the senators but one voted for it?
Okay, here's what I'm going to do for you.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Because
what do they do there?
Paul, I'm going to either tomorrow or Monday we'll reach out to Senator Griffo and Assemblyman, both the Assemblymen. We'll talk to
Brindisi.
Brian Miller and Anthony Brindisi as well. So
this is statewide. I mean, you know,
sure.
I tell everybody, if you know, this obviously carries more than beyond our area. So contact your senator and your assemblyman in your area, wherever you are. Google their name, their phone number comes up. Give them a call. Tell them you're concerned. If you like it, maybe some people think it's a good idea. I think some people who would work in some industries would like this. Other people think it's ridiculous.
Especially if you have if it's your secretary or your office manager who's not playing a really big role in the company. Not to say that they don't, and sometimes they do, but maybe it's someone who's non-essential. Let's put it that way. It's probably unfair for me to say secretary, but you take a position that is a specialty position.
That's exactly
you
right.
You can't replace that
somebody
person.
With certifications,
right.
The only person
How do you
can
replace them?
operate that machine or knows certain codes, and they're gone for 12 weeks, and suddenly, so they can't say, well, let me tell somebody else this. They're gone.
If I call you and tell you I have a crack in my sink, and you say, I'm sorry, the crack fixer's he's gone for 12 weeks.
No, I have to work 7 days a week.
I get
just to pay my taxes.
I understand
because the government's on.
All right, we're gonna follow through on this. This is worth getting into, Paul. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate the time.
What do you have, Angelo?
Oh, there's a woman on the line who's got some information on this also. I'd like to talk.
Tawny. Good morning, Tawny.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. All right. Tell me what you know.
Okay. I think, this gentleman, I forgot his name.
It's Paul.
He's on the right track, but the wording of it makes it look like you can get 12 weeks for a death. What it is 12 weeks during the course of a year. It's like FMLA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you would be, you get like X number of days depending on where you work. Say the bereavement for 3 days during the course of a year. You can't take more than 12 bereavement days.
Okay,
that's
weeks.
You're saying weeks, right?
It all adds up, just like FMLA. You can only get the 12
so for instance,
weeks.
if you get 5 weeks vacation a year, you can't take 5 consecutive weeks of your vacation, right? You would have to spread it out.
The vacation part, I'm not sure about.
Okay.
But I just mean, if it's like FMLA, in other words, if you have a sickness, a chronic illness, you could take, say you've got to take like 5 days off or you're very sick. You had that excuse in there already. Yes, this is what she has.
So you can't accumulate more. You're saying you can't accumulate more than 12 weeks in a year.
Well, exactly.
Okay.
That's what it is.
All right. Well, I'm going to, Tawny, I appreciate the...
it's kind of excessive.
Yeah. I appreciate that. We'll still get...
I'm pretty sure I understand. He's on. That's what it looks like 12. He said that's not what it means for one one bereavement, one death.
All right, Tony. Thank you. We're gonna dig more into this tomorrow.
Okay.
So thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so we'll dig in more tomorrow. You're on to something that we
should be... It's a valid concern.
No doubt, for any business.
I called them about it, and that's what they told me.
Okay, all right.
She's got a point.
Listen, at the same time, you're a small business owner.
It's just a stupid law.
Yeah, good for your fall period. Can you tell Paul is as passionate about this as I am about skunks. Thank you.